Eddie, you would be so rich. Not that you don't have a nice life. Do you know if you played today how much money you'd be worth? Otto Porter signed for $100 large.
I know, it's crazy.
He had like 3 months he could shoot a basketball. If you played, you wouldn't be on this couch. You would be like, I'm not going in media. I'm literally living in a palace. You'd make a lot of money today.
Well, you know what? Kudos to them for getting it, man. Kudos for them for getting it. It's out there. They're out there, and the thing is, the owners have to spend the money. So the lower level guys are getting paid ridiculous amount of money.
You know, it's funny, Eddie. It's not that LeBron's making more. He's making more. The winner in this is the medium player.
Right, the role players.
The role players are, Joe Ingles, nice player. I like these players. I was talking about this with a friend about the three-point shot. Sports is cyclical. And, back in the 1800s, 90% of people had a beard. In 1970, it was down to 5%. Now, if you watch baseball or you go around, it's surging back up. The world's cyclical. Even with facial hair, the world's cyclical. The NFL used to be a running league. Then it was a passing league. And now running's coming back in vogue with Ezekiel Elliott. So the NBA was a physical league. Rebounds won. And then offense with Magic Johnson and Larry emerged. Offense. Now it's all three-point shooting. Like, it's all three-point shooting. And it's going up like 6 three-pointers a game. Is it all, as a shooter, is it all good? What's the downside to it?
I don't think the downside is the youth. It's the youth. I don't think it has anything to do with the game. Like you said, it's always been a copycat league. You think about it. Everybody wanted to get a 6'6" guard when Jordan was balling.
That's
and
right.
A guy that could bring the ball up like Pippen. You didn't have to have a traditional point guard. Then it went to Kobe and Shaq. You needed 2 of them. Then you had the big 3 with San Antonio.
So you had to get 3 guys.
Yeah, and then you had to get 3 guys. And now Golden State's shooting these threes. Everybody's trying to get guys that can shoot threes. And it's not messed up for the league. I think it's actually good. It's fun. It's a wide-open game. It's really good to the eye when you watch the game. Yeah. It's a lot of fun to watch. But I think it's hurting the youth because what they're doing, and they think that they're Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and Klay Thompson when they're 7 years old, 8 years old, and the first thing they do, walk in the gym and shoot a 3. And none of these guys, that's not how they got their 3. You start inside and out. So it's killing youth basketball.
So they're not working on ball handling.
No, they're not.
It's just go to the gym and shoot.
And shoot threes. That's the thing that's killing them. My kids are AAU basketball, so I see it all the time. These guys are jacking threes up. Not my kids, but other kids there. That's the first thing they do. They walk in the gym and shoot a 3. And you have to build in and then go out. And that's the problem, I think. But besides, for the NBA, I think it's fantastic.
It is interesting. I always said the downside to Michael Jordan was, generally speaking, I grew up where point guards passed, wing guys shot, but you won titles with centers and bigs. When Jordan came into the league, and a lot of times he would just be like the point guard, de facto point guard. He'd take the ball over late in games. Suddenly all these guys like Steph Marbury, Francis, Damon Stoudemire, 6'1", are like, I'm Jordan. Because they all grew up idolizing Michael. But Michael was 6'6".
Right.
Like Michael was 6'6" and had a wing guy, Scottie Pippen, that was 6'7". So even when the NBA was great means it's popular, and Jordan was so popular, to some degree, he sort of corrupted the point guard position. Point guards came in thinking, I want to be Mike. Well, point guards were distributors my entire life, not scorers. So what you're saying is basically Steph, to some degree, is corrupting the youth of basketball. They don't want to work on anything but the 3.
Right, but accidentally he's doing it.
Yeah,
by just being himself.
Malicious.
Yeah, you know what I mean? By just being himself, he's doing it. And you know how Jordan did it, everybody wanted to be athletic. They forgot all the skills that he had. His footwork was impeccable.
His defense.
His defense, knowing angles, his pump fakes, using every aspect of the game to get his shot off or to score the basketball.
He was really good. Michael was really good on details. People never give him credit for this. The hand check.
Right.
When he would get you low, pump fakes, manipulating you. Like, Michael was very manipulative beyond his great talent.
And people just look at him as he was just super athletic, can jump out the gym, and had the fadeaway. But he had all the other things incorporated in his game as well. And that kind of corrupted my era because everybody thought they could jump out the gym, and they lost the skill. The skill had left the game, and it was more so about being super athletic. That's why you have a lot of guys that just get drafted off athleticism. They have no skill. They get drafted off athleticism. And a guy in my draft, and I don't want to throw no shots at anybody, but Stromile Swift, he was a guy who was drafted strictly on athleticism.
Couldn't really play.
Right, but it was strictly athleticism, and that's what happened, man. And I think right now it's happening in a different way. It's with shooting.
Yeah. So I told Kristine, I understand Minnesota's over-under in Vegas elevating. Jeff Teague's a real player. Jimmy Butler's a terrific player. And all their young guys are getting more mature. Totally get that. The Lakers won 26 last year and have added Lonzo Ball and Brook Lopez, and they're already at 36, meaning if they added Jamal Crawford, they may put them at 38. Isn't that a little ambitious? Do you see the Lakers as a team inching toward 500 due to Lonzo Ball?
Well, I think Lonzo could be good for 5 more games over an 82-game season.
Okay.
I think Brook Lopez could be good for 5 more games over an 82-game season. Yeah, I really do think so. You got Brook Lopez is an all-star. You know, he's a former all-star. So I think the way Lonzo plays, distributing the basketball, getting everybody involved, it's going to be fun to play with him. And guys are going to want to play with him. Guys are going to want to run the floor. When you play with Magic, they said it was a track meet. The first guy was trying to get out so he could be the first guy to get the ball to get the layup. And that's the type of guy Lonzo is. So I could see 5 wins from him, 5 wins from Brook Lopez. And, I mean, he's still garbage, though. You're still not making the playoffs with the 10 extra wins.
Well, garbage is a little strong. You'd be entertaining garbage.
Yeah.
I'd like to watch you play, but you would.
You're still garbage, just don't stink yet.
Eddie House joining us, 11-year NBA vet, a champ with the Celtics. Let's talk Boston. So they add Gordon Hayward, and that's a piece. But here's what's interesting. You say free agent. It's not that free. So they have to let Kelly Olynyk go. They have. So he'll go. And Kelly Olynyk, not a great player. I mean, he's a 9-point-a-game guy. But they also now are working a deal with Utah because they have to clear up cap space. So Kelly Olynyk is they're not a very big team. They have no size.
Right.
So they have to let go to get Gordon Hayward. 6'11" Kelly Olynyk now is out. And Jay Crowder, according to sources, is what Utah wants. Their best wing defender is out, and he averages 13 a game. So 22 points in from Gordon Hayward, 22 out, and now Gordon Hayward has to guard LeBron. So you say free agency. But if you lose Kelly Olynyk, again, not a great player. Did have a really good playoff game, kind of carried him for a game. Nice player, but he's their big, and they don't have any size. And now Gordon Hayward has to guard LeBron. Good luck with that. Jay Crowder took that responsibility on. How much better are they with Gordon Hayward? They're better some, right?
I think they're better, but then we're forgetting about Jason Tatum, too. Jason Tatum might have an opportunity to guard. I think it's be tough for him to guard these threes. But you got to put him in the fire and have him start learning that he's going to have to guard these guys at some point. And I think he's going to be a really good, and I said it yesterday on Undisputed, that he could be a borderline elite scorer, Jason Tatum. He has all the skills, inside, outside. He can post guys up. He could take you off the dribble. He's a phenomenal ISO player.
But he's 19.
He's 19. But again, he's only going to be able to get better. And right now, I think he's the best offensive player that was in this draft as far as being able to score. He was the best scorer in this draft. And taking some of the pressure off of Hayward, taking some of the pressure off of Isaiah Thomas, I think people tend to forget that he's there. And I think Boston will be really good. They do need some more size, though. All they got is Al Horford, and I think you need a little bit more size than that.
Yeah, there's a story about Marc Gasol perhaps being acquired. It wouldn't happen now, but later. But they always say free agent, but they're usually to clear space. You have to give stuff up. And Kelly Olynyk and Jay Crowder, they're nice players. They're not as talented as Isaiah Thomas, maybe Avery Bradley or Horford, but they're nice players. Eddie House, 11 years in the league. Good seeing you, bud.
Yep.